First pick of the day, picking up a 2016 Toyota Corolla. Y'all do these inspections, which is really important. Make sure you get everything, because you don't want to get hemmed up for anything. So take a minute, notate everything. Don't miss a single thing, because let me tell you what, the one little ding that you miss will be the ding that comes back to haunt you. Please notate everything. See, if you didn't get down and notice, you would have completely missed that. Low. Look at it. Check it out. See? We missed that scuff mark. See, you missed that too. I'm telling you, man, take your time. Do a good inspection. It'll be the difference between a profitable tow and a tow that'll cost you everything. What's good? How y'all doing today? So, I guess y'all saw the little video I had to start off with, going over your inspections. I can't stress it enough, man. Make sure y'all get them inspections done. Notate everything. Big update, and probably the thing that just kind of just makes me jump for joy, and I'm really just thankful, is we broke 100. So there's at least 102 of you out there that find my content enthralling enough to actually subscribe and follow along. And to be honest, I just want to take a second to tell you I'm truly grateful. And thank you for taking the time to watch my videos and see, you know, the trials and tribulations, the ups and downs that I go through, and, you know, how I'm trying to get to where I want to be. So, again, thank you so much. So, what we have going on today is kind of unusual. It's a combination of the fuel just being super expensive and my current setup of being a one-car hauler. I kind of really had to take a minute to step back and really evaluate how I'm hauling cars. So, you know, last night I was sitting there looking on the load board, and I really couldn't find anything worth, for lack of better words, worth me turning the key. It wasn't paying well. And I'm not about to hop into my truck and turn the key, drive for pennies. I mean, any of y'all that are already established, or that are in the steps to get established and get your own authority and get your company going, you know none of this is cheap. So knowing that, don't do cheap freight. So basically what I decided to do was, instead of doing my usual run one car out, bring one car back home, I'm basically going to condense my travel area into my home state. And instead of only doing 2, I've actually got 4 that I'm doing. But I'm doing 4 cars for actually a little bit more than what I would normally do for 2. Now, yes, that means I have to do 4 picks and 4 drops. But I mean, let's be realistically, how is that any different than when you're running a 3 and a 4 car? I mean, it's very few and far between that you actually get a load where it's 4 cars with 1 pick, 1 drop. Now, when I say 1 pick, 1 drop, that means you picked up all 4 cars in one place and dropped off all 4 cars in one place. That's one pick, one drop. So, you know, why not? If I'm gonna make actually a little bit more money by doing it that way, with fuel being as high as it is, and the long distance stuff just not paying anything worthwhile, why not giddy up? Let's just pick up 2 more cars. All right, so we got the Corolla off our back. We're pulling out of this actually beautiful neighborhood, and we're gonna make our way to the next pickup. We're gonna be picking up in Charlottesville, and we are going to be picking up a 2019 F-150 and taking that across 64 to Virginia's lovely capital of Richmond. So let's do our little quick hop, skip, and a jump down the road and get loaded. I'll see you there. All right, here's number 2, 2019 F-150. Up here at the dealership picking it up. Like we did on the first one, we're gonna walk around, do our inspection, notate anything we can. Had to wait for our buddy here in a rollback pass by. He's picking up 2. So this one's actually pretty sharp, in pretty good shape. So let's get her on here and get loaded. All right, we got loaded. So now it's off to Richmond. So we're dropping this in Richmond, and then we're actually picking one up in Richmond, going to Harrisonburg. Yeah, there's a lot going on today. Kind of want to take a little time to talk about, you know, how do I get these cars. I actually have a lot of people, a lot of friends that they're kind of learning about it as I go, because it's completely new to them. But anyway, so how I get my cars is I get them off of load boards. And a load board basically is a website that you can go to basically browse through and find a vehicle in a desired location to pick it up and take it to another location. You basically click on whatever vehicle you want to move. It'll pull up the broker's information or the dealer's information, and I can then in turn call them and say, hey, this is Nick with Hustle Trucking LLC. I'm calling about load, and you'll give them the load or order ID number. It's typically anywhere from 2 to 6 numbers, and they'll either tell you, yeah, it's available, when can you pick it up, or B, they will tell you, unfortunately, it's already been dispatched. If it's been dispatched, you move on to the next one. If it hasn't been dispatched, that's when the fun begins, because then you build your load. So you'll say, hey, I can pick it up today, deliver tomorrow, or I can pick up today, deliver today. And if it works for them, ride on. Now, I really only use 2 boards. There's a million of them out there. I typically work primarily off of Central Dispatch, which if you're going to use Central Dispatch, you have to have an authority, because when you set up your Central Dispatch, one of the things you have to do is you have to enter your DOT number. So they have to verify you before they'll even give you access. Once you get your access, you have the option to upload your credentials, like your W-9, your insurance, stuff like that. I took it upon myself and went ahead and uploaded all that, because you actually will encounter some people that will not do work with you unless they can go to that part of Central Dispatch and see all of that information. The other site that I use is Super Dispatch. I use Super Dispatch primarily because Super Dispatch gives me the option to build BOLs, which is bill of lading. Anytime you move vehicle or freight in general, you have to have a BOL. So Super Dispatch allows me to build my BOLs so that I have a BOL for every vehicle I move. I actually do, from time to time, pull a couple cars off of Super Dispatch. They do also have a load board, so I'll work off that too. So Central Dispatch costs me $114 a month. Now, I'm sure you're sitting there going, Jesus Christ, that's a lot of money. But, so here's something to think about. You can get that $114 off a part of the run. So, really, if you think about it like that, how many cars can you move in a month? And from all those cars, $114 a month for that. I'm okay with that. Super Dispatch, it's $54 a month. All right, so we got number 2 drop. We're getting ready to head back across town, pick up number 3. And number 3 is going back across the state to Harrisonburg. So y'all know how, like, earlier in the video, I was like all high-spirited and chipper and like super excited, having a good day. Well, we're still having a good day, but we had a minor setback. Nothing crazy. Thankfully, nothing's wrong with the truck. Still running good. The issue that we have at hand right now is, so down here in Harrisonburg, come down here to pick up the truck, cutting across to Winston-Salem, North Carolina. I called ahead because I thought that they were going to be closed by the time I got here. So what I like to do is, when I know I'm getting to a dealership and they're going to be closed, I like to call ahead and say, hey, I'm coming to pick up a vehicle from you guys in the morning, and I know you guys are closed, but do you mind if I just sit in the parking lot, get some sleep? That way I'm here when you guys open, I can get loaded, get on the road. 100% of the time, they're like, yeah, no problem. They'll give you a designated space and they'll say, hey, this is typically where we go. So I get here and she's like, well, we can get you loaded and get you on your way now. And I'm like, sweet, because I know I've got like 4 hours left on my log, and I can get, if not there, pretty close to my destination. So the gentleman comes in and he says, hey, need a release letter. I'm like, oh, man. So for those of you that don't know, a release letter is a letter that the broker will issue you when you're picking up from a dealership or an auction, saying, hey, we're giving this person permission to pick up this vehicle. Well, in my own stupidity, I should have called on, because they didn't issue me one when they gave me the load. So I had to call, and I'm like, hey man, I need this release letter pretty quick. So I mean, they do get it to me pretty quick. I email it to the guy who's sitting in the store, and he then tells me, hey, but we're not gonna be able to get you loaded till in the morning because the vehicle you're picking up is buried and it has a blown motor. So we're back to square one in the parking lot. So we're going to be laying over here, and we'll get up in the morning, load the trailer up, and head to Winston-Salem, North Carolina. So I'm gonna get some sleep, and I'll see you in the morning. Good morning. So we're awake, and now the fun begins. Get ready to get this loaded up. We got it out of its hole, and we're getting ready to winch this thing on the bed with the 12,000 pound winch I got on the trailer. So we're gonna get to work. I did want to take a minute to kind of show you guys the winch setup. Now, if you've seen any of the previous videos where I talk about DOT slots and how you can use it to strap it down, you take a look, that little baby J is hooked right in that slot, right on the frame. Pardon the jingle jangle of the camera. I'm trying to get down on the ground to really show you guys. You see, it's hooked right up there in the frame. And I got both sides, and they're both hooked up on both sides of the frame with a bridle. Now, the chain that you see that goes to the winch, that's called a V chain or a bridle. That centers all the weight to the winch line, so that the winch line is pulling the center of the vehicle and not off to one side. So let's get to work. All right, so we got her on a bed, strapped down, good to go, looking good. Got our 4 points of contact. Not the best looking ram, but she'll do. All right, apologies. You can probably tell we're already on the highway. I was fielding some phone calls, trying to get a load from North Carolina back into Virginia. So it took a couple phone calls, but we finally got one, ironically enough, coming back to Harrisonburg. So now the game plan is get loaded in Bassett, Virginia, which is also ironically like 20 minutes from my hometown, so it'll be a little bit of a stroll down memory lane. We'll go down there, get loaded, come back to Harrisonburg, drop, and see if we can't find something cutting across the state back to my neck of the woods. So that's the plan. We'll see how it pans out. Hopefully it works out well. It's with one of the, I guess you'd call them brokers that I regularly deal with. So that was kind of truly lucky. This was the one that's in Bassett coming back was a last minute like Hail Mary, got lucky, it popped up and I grabbed it. So now we just got to find something from Harrisonburg back over my neck of woods and we'll be golden. So I did get a couple minutes last night to look at some of the messages I've been receiving. I try to respond back to you guys as soon as I see it pop up. And I can tell you that one of the recurring questions that I get a lot is how or if doing the one car transport thing is profitable or if it's possible. So what I can say is this. When I started my business, I started with a one car because I didn't want to get invested with a large trailer just to find out that I could not get the clientele or I couldn't get enough cars to be successful and be in the hole, not only with a truck payment, but a trailer payment. So I opted to go with a one-car trailer, which, to be honest with you, I get quite a few runs where if I had a bigger trailer, I wouldn't be able to fit into the location Now, I know there's some guys out there that are going to say, oh, well, that's fine. You know, you just short drop and tell them, hey, you got to meet me to pick it up. Yeah, you can do that. But I will give you a prime example of one load that I ran where that wasn't an option. I do a lot of moves for a fabrication company that fabricates vans for handicap accessible people. This particular van was going to a pretty remote location in Virginia, so remote that they ended up paying me to go out there and deliver it and come back empty, because there was nothing anywhere near this place coming out. So I accepted the call, got down there and dropped it off, only to realize that my truck and trailer barely fit. Anything bigger wouldn't have worked, and it had to show up at the door because the lady was wheelchair bound and very, she wouldn't have made it. So she was definitely very grateful that I was able to do that, and she actually, bless her heart, she typed up this nice little thank you letter, which is, to be honest, it's the first time I've ever gotten, you know, some type of like sentiment where someone took the time to say, hey, thank you, I really appreciate what you do. So that actually meant a lot to me. But the big thing is this: you have to know how to make it work. So one car hauler, you got to look at the load boards, and you got to find a good load. You got to find the loads that are paying top dollar, and you have to stay loaded. And when I say you have to stay loaded, you can't just drive out there, drop, and come back empty. You got to keep something back there, because if there ain't nothing back there, you ain't getting paid. In all honesty, you're actually losing money because you're burning fuel for nothing. So staying loaded is the key. Not taking cheap freight, that's another one. Don't take these cars that are only paying like $65 to go 70, 80 miles. You ain't gonna make it. You ain't gonna make it. You gotta be willing to go places that some people just don't want to go. That's another thing. And the other big thing is this: just you have to feel it and know what's going on. You gotta keep your thumb on what's going on. Like I said in the last video, fuel prices went up. Well, fuel prices went up, so you have to know your cost to operate. So I know what my cost to operate is. So when fuel prices went up, I immediately had to adjust my cost to operate, because now I'm paying more per gallon per fuel. So those are some key things to know. As long as you stay on top of those, it can be a successful operation with a one car. Now, in saying that, what I will tell you is I will continue to run one car. However, I am actively looking for a 2-car. So yeah, I claim, you know, the 1-car hauler job I do, and I'll keep my 1-car trailer, but from a business perspective, I'm getting into a position now where I feel as though I can keep a 2-car trailer loaded. So I'm actively looking for a 2-car trailer now. Will I find one? Who knows? Because the other issue is this: because of COVID, everything has gone full-blown ridiculous. I've been in talks with a trailer rep that I normally use. Right, wrong, and difference, you can hate them or love them. I've been dealing with Kaufman forever. But in talking with my rep, basically, between the cost of steel, the lack of steel, the lack of certain components required to make a trailer, now their lead times are 4 and 5 months out, and they're having a hard time obtaining some of the stuff that they need to make the trailers. Now, I'm sure you're sitting there going, oh, why you want to go buy a new trailer? Well, here's some food for thought. Because of the situation with new trailers, there are guys that are selling their used trailers, and they're selling them for brand new prices. And they're getting it because there's a shortage of trailers. Everybody's trying to get a trailer, so everybody's paying stupid money for trailers. So my theory is, if I'm gonna have to pay brand new prices for a brand new trailer and end up with a used trailer, that's kind of stupid on my part. I'd rather pay the brand new money for a brand new trailer, have a brand new trailer in a warranty, than to have a used trailer at brand new prices. So I'm gonna, put my ear to the street and see what I can find. If I can't find anything, hey man, I'll get on a waiting list and I'll do it that way. It's kind of how I look at it. And if worst come to worst, I'll wait. So see how this whole situation pans out. So that's kind of where I stand on the whole one-car trailer situation. All right, so we dropped in Winston-Salem, and now we're here in Danville at Apple Ford, picking up one, going back to Harrisonburg. So let's go get this car loaded. That oval slot right there, that's what you're looking for right there. That's your DOT slot on the front. Let's go look at the back. Kind of already hooked up. See, David J's hooked right up in there. That's the back slot. So there we go, all hooked up. We're ready to hit the road. It's been fun being home. Got a chance to visit my hometown. Haven't really been here in years. A lot of things have changed. It started off, it was definitely a little textile town. You had big companies like DuPont, Booker Furniture, Bassett Furniture, Coltex, Fieldcrest, Cannon. And as time has gone on, it's all gone, but same old little town still here. Anyway, let's get rolling back up to Harrisonburg. All right, so you guys missed out on a little bit. I did get the car dropped at Harrisonburg. In the process of getting that one dropped, I got really lucky yet again and found another load in Charlottesville going to Richmond. So we hurry up and dropped in Harrisonburg. I got over here to Charlottesville. I was gonna lay over at the dealership. When they open in the morning, we'll get loaded and we'll get headed out to Richmond. So just hustling, man. We moved quite a few cars. So I'm gonna finish up a couple of things, get some BOL set up, and I'm hitting the bed, get some sleep, so we can get up in the morning and do this all over again. All right, morning. We're loaded up. It's raining. Excuse the truck, it's warming up. So we got our Yukon loaded up. We're getting ready to head down the road to Richmond. So there she is. See y'all at Richmond. All right, we got them all done. I'm tired. I can tell I'm tired. Hope y'all liked this video. We got some more coming down the pipe. We'll be working on some more. As always, like, subscribe, hit the bell. Appreciate y'all sticking it out this long. A lot of content, a lot of vehicle moves. Stay in there, subscribe. out, hang out with me. I can't confirm or deny we might actually be working on a bigger trailer. Surprise, surprise. So we'll have to see how that pans out and have to get you to stay tuned. So as always, y'all take care. God bless.